Hi, this is Daniel Obasi. You're listening to the AMAH Conversations, a podcast documenting and archiving conversations by artists of our time.
Adeju,
Hey Yegwa.
wow, when was the last time we actually hung out?
It's been a hot second.
It's so funny that it took this to actually get us to see in this Lagos, properly scheduling and everything.
Right.
You know? So I guess I'm supposed to get started. Well, we'll do a quick intro, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, designer extraordinaire.
Well, to everyone else, my name is Adeju Thompson. I'm the founder and creative director of Lagos Space Program, and there it is.
So my name is Yegwa Ukpo, one-time co-founder of Stranger Lagos.
Yeah.
Now I'm a whole bunch of things. I'm also the head maintainer of New Type, and then I'm working in the healthcare space, hospitality space, family business. So, but yeah, generally trying to keep busy, trying to keep my head above water,
Yeah.
and struggling in this our Niger.
Indeed. Indeed.
So, okay, let's get started. Let me see. Let me do this one. Okay. How do you feel about the significance of physical spaces like Stranger Lagos and AMAH in fostering creative expression?
I think that's a very great question. I think I can always sort of like draw. When you ask that question, I think about myself and how Stranger was very important in my formative period. I think, being in Stranger and like seeing all these clothes that I'd learnt about in university and school come to life, but in a Nigerian context, was very great for my sort of like, design development. I think the idea, like the clothes sort of like existing in the intersections and it being, all the intersections being very physical, were just so amazing. And I think you're just very generous with your space. There's so many amazing people, a lot of like young people who were budding, who felt really inspired, who wanted to like do stuff. And I think you just created this very fostering, beautiful space. And it was very amazing for me. And I always sort of like say like, I always sort of like say I went to the University of Stranger because like that's how special that space was to me. And I think, you see a lot of us who were at Stranger at that time, a number of us, and it's been like 6 years now. And, we're all like doing our thing, I'm with Lagos Space Program, Daniel has AMAH, all of us, have our practices doing stuff. And I think it's quite just sort of like see, so like Stranger sort of like, sort of like living, not in a very physical way, but in ourselves, but like transcend that into the wider world. And I think, Daniel is a very good friend of mine, and sort of like seeing what he's done here and the potential of the space is really, I think for me, I'm very frustrated about Nigeria, and I used to be this optimistic person. I'm quite a pessimist, but I think one of the few things that give me a sense of like hope and excitement is when I see my friends sort of like, just doing great things, notwithstanding, and also sort of like, creating a space where we can sort of like grow and foster and collaborate and create, and sort of like, add value into the world. And I think that's what makes it so special.
Wow. Yeah. It's always strange. Well, let me not say strange to hear about Stranger in this light, but I'm very happy that it had that kind of impact. Because whenever I talk to some people, I tell them that creating Stranger as a space was a very selfish thing. I just wanted a place that I would feel comfortable in. I thought about that first before I thought about it as a business. It was like, oh, why can't I get this in Lagos? I should be able to have this here, So, it's really cool sort of being able to, because, I couldn't have visualized what was going to happen in Stranger. I couldn't have visualized you. I couldn't have visualized Daniel or Kadara or Yadi or whoever, when that was happening. I didn't have an idea of what kind of Nigerian was going to be in that space. But I knew there had to be Nigerians who wanted to be in that kind of space. What is interesting about the experience of Stranger, because it was funny, there were people who were really drawn to it, and you could see that it was like, oh wow, this is something that I've been looking for. This is something that resonates very strongly with me, like yourself, for example. And then on the other hand, there were people who were actively repulsed by the space. Like I remember...
Repulsed?
Yeah, it's really funny. There was a time, it was really funny. There was a time when some guys, and I think a lady, walked into the space. They had followed, I think it was Uju or someone who was working there at the time. And then they had just been like, because obviously she stood out, she's tall, slim, was wearing like fashion stuff, all in black.
The black lab coat.
Yeah, and they were like, like, wow, where you come from? She was like, oh, she works here. So they were like, you work there? What kind of job do you dress like this to go to? And so they came into the space because of that. And then when they entered, you should see them like, they were like, in particular, one of them was just really like creeping through the space, and he was just like, why is the space like this? Why is the ceiling black? Why are the lights so dim? Like, what are people doing here? And I was just like, oh, hi, we do fashion. And I was trying to be very friendly and everything. And the guy was like, let's go. And he took off.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, it was really funny. It was like, maybe he thought we were going to sacrifice him or something.
Well, that was a preview. If you'd like to hear the rest of the conversation, do join us on Substack. We love from AMAH. We love you.